Hello, everybody, and welcome back. All right, it's Kentucky Derby time, and let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about the most: long shots, cashing. Aaron and I, we have 3 long shot horses we like that you can get a great price on. So let's just start right off the bat with a horse we saw run on Sunday, Aaron. Prater. This is a very intriguing horse for trainer Chad Brown. Why don't we talk about what you saw in this horse in his last race?
Yeah, very impressive visually for Prater. So he came back off of a long layoff. He ran in an allowance race Sunday at Gulfstream, like you said, and he just dusted the competition, won by many lengths. The analytics of the race didn't come back very strong. The speed figures didn't come back very strong. His time wasn't great. One thing to remember, though, we covered Chad Brown earlier in the show when we were talking about Hill Road and Chancellor Patrick. They'll run better second out as a 3-year-old when they're on the Derby Trail or the Triple Crown Trail. So that was Prater's first start. He will run better next out. So I'm not overly concerned about the time of the race or anything like that. And here's the important thing to note. When this horse was fully cranked 2 races back, he was in a maiden special weight against Sovereignty, a horse we've all got ranked very high on our Derby list, and a horse that obviously won the Fountain of Youth in his last start. Prater beat Sovereignty. Now, it was at a mile. Sovereignty is better going longer, but still, Prater was able to beat Sovereignty, and Sovereignty came up and was making a big run, and Prater held him off. That means, to me at least, this horse does have a lot of talent. I think we'll see a lot more of him next out. I don't know. We know Chad Brown kind of saves horses for the Preakness. Maybe Prater's that, and, it's like, I can't do it. But at 80, 85 to 1, he might be worth a small play.
There's a little bit more I'd like to add too, Aaron, that I liked about this horse. One thing is, yes, he beat Sovereignty in that race. This horse went off as the favorite over Sovereignty. That's a good sign. The public liked him. Another thing is, yes, the buyer speed figure was low, but last year he got a 90 buyer speed figure, which is huge for a 2-year-old. So it's kind of promising. He won by 7.5 lengths. Like, why should he go all out? All those things you mentioned are phenomenal. He's never been off of the board. His worst start was 3rd. I went back and watched that race. He wasn't going to beat the horse he lost to that day, Ferocious, but he had a horrible start and almost got up for 2nd. In other words, I think he hasn't run a bad race. And the last thing that's very interesting about this horse, Aaron, Steve Haskin reports that Chad Brown said he is considering this horse for the Bluegrass Stakes or the Lexington. What does that tell you, my man?
If he runs in the Bluegrass, it means it's Chad Brown's number 1 horse. And that is a fact, because that just year after year after year, his number 1 horse is in the Bluegrass. So that would be interesting. If he runs in the Lexington, that might mean they're targeting the Preakness. So I think how all of his horses come out of the races, how they're doing, is going to kind of determine that, obviously. So keep an eye on that, but keep that in the back of your mind. If Prater's in the Lexington, that means he thinks he's his best horse.
You meant the Bluegrass there, Aaron. Yes, if he's in the Lexington. Yes.
No,
yeah, just to clarify. And again, at 80 to 1, not bad to possibly get Brown's best horse. Okay, let's move on to the second horse that we're going to talk about today. John Hancock, Aaron, 20 to 1 odds, Brad Cox trained. Talk to me about what you like about this long shot.
Everything right now. I think this is my number 1 long shot at this moment. John Hancock, in his 2nd career race, went against Owen Almighty in the Sam F. Davis Stakes. And it was a race where Owen Almighty put his nose in front of John Hancock. I would say mid-stretch or maybe towards the top of the stretch. And John Hancock, in just his 2nd career start, battled back against a horse that I would call a veteran at that point in Owen Almighty. Battled back and beat him by a half length, and kind of decisively beat him. A half length, that's close, but it wasn't a head bob. It wasn't anything like that. He was the clear winner of that race. I thought that was so impressive to do that in just your 2nd start. And then you look, and Owen Almighty comes back and just dominates the Tampa Bay Derby. And boy, just just excited to kind of see what John Hancock can do. Because the thing about it is, he should improve in his 3rd start. He should improve again in his 4th start. This guy's just starting to figure it out. He got a big time education in the Sam F. Davis. He's going to run next weekend in the Louisiana Derby. I think he's going to be awfully tough. If you like him, you better bet him now, because I think he's winning the Louisiana Derby, and I think that the odds are going to go down. So if you kind of are feeling what I'm feeling, bet him now, because I don't think you're going to get this price for very long. I think he's got a big-time future. I was super impressed with the Sam F. Davis, and then to see Owen Almighty come back and do that, it gives me a lot of hope for John Hancock.
Yeah, especially since you get Flavian Pratt in that next race. Flavian, just phenomenal. So a little bit of insurance for your 20-1. You're going to get a good ride out of him usually. Especially looking forward, though, there's other horses that we want to cover. The main one today, though, Caldera, Aaron. Let's talk about this horse. 50-1 odds. What do you like about this long shot for the Kentucky Derby?
I love his stride. I love how long that stride is. And I love that in each race, he's mentally getting it. You can really tell. His race 2 back at Oaklawn, he took charge. He got the job done, gate to wire. That last race out in Sunland, the Sunland Derby, he got second to getaway car, but he was wide, really wide on both turns. And the thing that really impressed me, he set off the pace. And when the jockey asked him to make a big move, he did it. And he passed horses like they were standing still. That's kind of been his problem. He hadn't been the one that could really accelerate when asked. He's figuring it out, guys. He's not bad at all. Lucas is very good with getting these horses and racing them, and they're learning more as they go. I love him. I think he's the right price. I don't consider him like a favorite or anything like that. It'll be very interesting to see what getaway car does, this weekend in the Virginia Derby. But I think Caldera's got a big future.
Yeah, I'm with you, Aaron. I've talked extensively with the MyRacehorse team. They've loved this horse for a long, long time. I think he really is talented. You got Lucas. I'm really excited to see what he does too. He's clearly bred to do these distances as well. So I would definitely keep an eye on him. In fact, guys, just a little hint and a sneak preview. Next week, I'm having the pedigree expert back on, and we're going to be talking about Caldera's pedigree. I'm excited to discuss that with him. Let's see what he has to say. But yeah, there you go, guys. We've got a 20-1 shot, a 50-1 shot, and an 80-1 shot for you.